Welcome back to Legends Live, as presented by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, the home of all our NBA and WNBA legends. I'd like to remind our viewers you can submit questions during the show that we will get to before we wrap up. And without any further ado, I'd like to welcome today's guest. We have former Maryland Terrapin, former New Orleans Hornet and Toronto Raptor, and current associate head coach of the Erie Bayhawks of the G League. We've got Greivis Vásquez with us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you for joining
Excited to be
us.
here with you guys, with you, and shout about basketball, about life. I love this. This is
Oh, we'd
cool.
love to have you, man. First things first, how are you? How are things?
Well, everything is good. Right now, I'm located in Miami,
Mm.
living the dream with this weather, with the family, my wife and kids, and then just seeing what opportunities are there for me in basketball in terms of like coaching. I was the associated head coach for the Erie Bayhawks. They gave
Mhm.
me a great opportunity, but I couldn't continue to do the work because I have an injury that big bugging me and bothering me my right ankle. So
Mm.
right now I'm rehabbing still and
Okay.
resting in a way, and then trying to get healthy. So to see what I can do probably next year, because I want to take my time just to be completely healthy.
Right. Now, you rehabbing, are you trying to like rehab to just to get you back in the coaching field? You're trying to get back to playing, or what's the next step after
You
we
know
get
what?
healthy?
You know what? I'm confused
Yeah.
because sometimes I don't have it. It's hard, man. This
Mm.
position right now is hard. Like with everything that is going on around the world, is just hard to. I love the game so much. I'm so passionate, and not be able to play the last 3.5 years has been
Mm.
horrendous. It's a horrible feeling, and to me, basketball is not everything, but it's part of me.
Right.
Even though I'm a husband, and I'm a I'm a parent, I'm a brother, and I'm a friend, and not be able to do what I love the most is extremely hard. So,
Yeah.
but with that being said, I think everything happens for a reason. I believe in God. I think He has a great plan for me, and we'll see what happens.
Mm.
I'm doing a lot of different things on the side. That's the leverage that you have when you play in the NBA, and
Right.
you play for a few years. You're able to do some other things that can help you financially, and create a platform that can help you to have a plan B or C, and then start doing something else. But so right now, the love of the game is unbelievable, still there,
Yeah.
and it's hard. I miss it. I'm not gonna lie, I miss it. I miss playing. I miss the environment. I just miss it.
Yeah. I was gonna ask what you missed the most, but it sounds like it's just like the camaraderie, just like being in the locker room, being around everybody. What part do you miss the
Man,
most?
I miss going into games and kissing my jersey like 3 hours before the game. Before I went outside to warm up, and I went outside to the court and warm up
Mm.
before the game, and then just thinking about the way I grew up, and being from Venezuela, and not having opportunities the way I wanted to. But I'm always being a fighter, and all of a
Right.
sudden I'm playing in the Madison Square Garden, a famous place,
Mhm.
and I have the chance to play so many games, 462 games. So I was always, I miss the moment I was meditating and thinking about that, because
Mm.
I love what LeBron does, and the rest of the players. Like, it's more than being an athlete.
Right.
Sometimes people forget that we're humans, and we have feelings, and we feel, and we do different things, like, just like a regular normal
Just
human,
like anybody. Yeah.
just like anyone. So I just miss, I miss it. Yeah. Being the third Venezuelan in the NBA,
Mhm.
and everything that I have done in college, and just everything, my whole body of work. I know, and I knew that I was able, that see, if I was healthy, I was able to still playing, and making an impact throughout the game, on and off the court. So to me, it's a tough time. It
Yeah.
is a tough time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, let me ask you, what do you miss least? Like, what's the part you don't miss? Is like the long practices, or what part do you like? I don't really miss that
You know
part
what?
that much.
That's a tough question because maybe while you playing and you're an active player, you like, jeez, I mean, going to shoot around
Mm,
while we losing games because I was in losing teams and I was in winning teams and sometimes when you going through a losing season, you have to work even harder and some players
yep,
don't get it and everything is so hectic because we losing and that's when you have to fight even more. That's when you have to focus even more and but I missed it. I was that type of
yeah,
player. People ask me all the time, "Well, you got traded a lot." Yes, a lot of franchises wanted my job, they wanted my work. You know what I mean? And why? Because I wanted adversity. You
yeah,
know, I was that type of. I'm that type of person. I don't want it easy, and I'm
yeah,
not saying I never had a chance to play on a contender team and display my whole game. I was just the type of player that went to Toronto and built a winning culture after
mhm,
like 10 years without making the playoff, and then I got drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies.
mhm.
That rookie year, I almost went to the conference finals when KD beat us in the series before going to the conference finals, and to me, I was about that. I was about
Yeah,
to solve problems for teams, and everyone wanted me through like rebuilds and stuff like that. And some players we have the characteristics to do that stuff, and you get paid for that. You got to be professional, and to me, uh, it's hard to tell you right now what I don't miss because I
yeah,
miss it all because
yeah,
I love the game, and 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 I respected the game so much, man, and gave me that diversity of not having anything to a point to probably have it, have it all and dream big and meeting people that I never thought I was gonna meet and stuff like that, which is part of the whole platform and the whole aspect of being a professional athlete, especially in the United States.
definitely. Now, you mentioned your time in Memphis. I mentioned you played in New Orleans, Toronto. What was your favorite city to play that you played in?
Man, I love Memphis. I thought Memphis was gonna be a good place for me, but I only played there for almost a year and a half.
Hmm.
I think I'm loyal to a city because they gave me an opportunity. But the city that I loved the most, it was Toronto. Toronto,
Okay.
Toronto was unbelievable.
Why Toronto?
I mean, Toronto is just different, man. We were the only team, still is the only
Yeah.
team in the whole country. It's a different country, and being an international player, I cannot thank them enough for everything that they, the franchise, everyone there was very polite, very professional. They welcomed me the right way. I mean, I still cheer for them. And Masai is my guy. I
Mhm.
met Masai when I was young. He was in. I met him in Rio de Janeiro,
Okay.
Brazil. He was at that time. He was a scout. So a scout. So he was talking about his experience and all that. Later on, he traded for me, and he was my boss.
Yeah.
So unbelievable, man. I mean, I can tell you many stories. So it was it was something like that he felt like family. It
Yeah.
really felt like family in Toronto. So, and I was happy that 6 years after they won a championship because they called me and they thanked me as well. That's class act,
Yeah.
and that's why they won it. People never thought that Toronto in the history of the NBA it was gonna have a chance to win a championship because it's always what the superstars are and you know how it is. But
Right.
I got so much respect and I got so much love for the city of Toronto. I mean, uh, it's my favorite. It's been my favorite.
Toronto's the favorite. Now, you mentioned that Masad met, I guess, a younger Greivis. So how did you end up? You went to high school in Maryland, correct? How did you end up from Venezuela to Maryland?
That's a funny story because I went to a camp in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil,
Uh-huh.
and then it was all the best players at age 14. It was like basketball without border.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot of NBA players from that region, the South American region. It was like Nene Hilario, Leandro Barbosa. Um, I don't remember who else, but it was I think Thiago Splitter was there too, and then a few other ones. And it was a lot of NBA people, NBA related, NBA people, workers, and scouts, and coaches, and a bunch of another agents and people involved with the game. So I performed really well, and I remember this guy, uh, Arturo Ortega. He's from Spain. He asked me, "Hey, Greivis, do you want to go to United States, get an education, or you want to go to Spain or Europe and just play professionally?" So at the time, obviously, I needed the money. My family come from, a humble background, and then but I was always dreaming about coming to United States and going to school, going to college here.
Right.
So I ended up coming to the U.S. Ended up going to the Montrose Christian School in Rockville, Maryland,
Mhm.
and I kind of lied because I told Stu Vetter, it's like my stepfather, my high school coach,
Yeah.
and I told him that I was 6'10", 6'11", and I was a 6'4" skinny dude. And the roster was full of point guards. He needed a center, but at that time I couldn't speak any English. I came to this country without speaking any word of English. So
Wow.
it was it was imagine that transition. It was like
Yeah.
I left my family. My mom and dad got divorced, and I came to the United States after going to Rio. And then all of a sudden, I don't speak any English, and I'm sitting at this history class in front of the classroom, and
Mm.
I couldn't understand anything.
Mm.
So imagine the odds of a guy like me making it to the NBA in 2004. I remember I came to the United States 2000 September 25th of 2004. I
Okay.
remember that day because it's my mom's birthday.
So how old were you when you first came over?
I
When
was
you
I
got to
was
Maryland?
I was 16 years old,
Okay.
like when I came here. So I came here just because I dreamed about going to college, and I ended up going to a big time high school. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything about players, and didn't know who Kevin Durant, Ty Lawson, Nolan Smith, and all these big time players from the DMV.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So it was a tremendous experience, man. I think God always blessed me in many different ways, and I'm so thankful for the people that He put around me
Mm.
because I accomplished so much with so little.
Mm.
So to me that is what I take, and that's what I'm thankful because I wasn't trying to be LeBron James or Kevin
Right.
Durant. I was just trying to be myself,
Right.
and a lot of players don't get that. That's why coaching and helping other players, the youth, is very important to me because it's not about being the superstar. It's about being and caring about yourself and being and believing in yourself. So it is a tremendous story.
Mm. You mentioned playing with some of those guys. A lot of talent comes out of DMV. What do you remember about playing with those? Like particularly being a high school teammate of Kevin Durant. What do you remember about him?
Man, I loved it. That was I came from tough neighborhoods back home, and going through going to DC and playing in DC was the most joyful thing that I had because it was competition at any corner of
Yeah.
any or
Right.
any
Every
street.
game. Yeah.
I mean, you needed to compete. You needed to not to be afraid. And the biggest thing about me, I'm never afraid. So I wanted to compete against these guys, and I think that those guys respected me because my will and my desire to compete and get better. Because some of these guys, they're like, oh, Spanish dude, what is he doing over here?
Right.
Go play soccer. Yeah, this is not your
Just kind
sport.
of overlook you.
They overlooked me. So
Mm.
so so to me that was another challenge. I couldn't really communicate, and I was overlooked all the time because I was this Spanish guy that had no physical aspect about playing basketball, but baseball, yes, or soccer, yes, but basketball, no, man. So I had to earn anything that I got back those days.
Mm. So how did you end up like going out of high school into college? Did you know you wanted to stay in Maryland or in that area? Was it always a lock, or were you
Man,
trying to
it's
go like maybe see different parts of the country? Like what was your process there?
now because my story always been really tough and hard.
Mm.
And all my coaches coming from Venezuela, they were so tough on me. So one day I was doing homework in the living room and I'm watching this game, Duke against Maryland, and I
Uh-huh.
see and I see Gary Williams just yelling and going crazy to the sideline, and I'm like, man, I love that coach. I wish he can coach
That's
me.
what you need.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I need. So I go and like, I want to go to the school. Long story short, 2 weeks after open period, all of a sudden, Coach Vetter called me. Excuse me, Coach Vetter called me to his office. I'm like, whoa, what is Coach Vetter calling me to his office? I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't,
Think you're in
like
trouble.
I didn't get in trouble. So I'm walking downstairs and I'm going to Coach's office, and all of a sudden, going through, we had the gym to work out to lift weights,
Mhm.
and I see Gary Williams, the guy that 2 weeks previous that day I was
Screaming
watching
on the TV.
he offered me right at that moment. He offered me a scholarship. So I said, Coach, I want to play for you, and I believe in you. Even though I don't know you, but it's something about you that I love. And I never took any visits. I didn't go to the process. Nah, I wanted to go to Maryland. I signed the letter of intent, and I say, and it was all the schools looking for me. And at some point, there was talks of me going to Texas with KD,
Mm-hmm.
because I ended up graduating from high school with KD, but it was DJ Agustin already there, so I wasn't going to get minutes. So he was a high-profile player. So to me, I made the best decision of my life, because then when I went off to Maryland, and those 4 years they were the best 4 years of my life. Like, changed my life forever.
So what, like you mentioned, you played 4 years. Was it ever a thought about, going pro early? A lot of guys go after 1 year, maybe 2 years. Did you know that going in, you wanted to stay 4 years, or did you just kind of take it year by year?
Man, I just wanted to enjoy it, and at some point, my junior year, I kind of like, okay, I started to realize that I like, yes, I can play at the highest level. I'm an NBA player, but I wasn't trying to rush the process. I was just trying to really go phase one, phase two, and phase three was the NBA. I was not cheating the process. Some players need to be one and done. Some other players need to be two and done. I was those players. I was one of those players that needed to be 4 years. Remember, the biggest key with me was the fact that people they start overlooking, they start looking at me as an American, because I went through the whole American process: high school, college, and then draft, NBA. So I wasn't looked at as like,
Like
whoa,
an international player, yeah.
As of right now, that was the biggest benefit that I had going through the whole process, because you get into the culture a little bit faster instead of just coming overseas, unless you Luca, Luca and all these
Giannis or Jokic,
yes, all these big time players, that it's different. Their path is different because they're super, super talented. But I made myself a player, an NBA player, going through the whole American process. So I had a fair opportunity. So that was cool.
And you mentioned some of the international players. Are there any like current players you watch or keep an eye on, or like favorite player or teams to watch in the NBA?
I I love Luca. And the Dallas team is. I mean, I love what he's doing. I think he's representing the culture, the international culture, pretty well. Probably as of right now, he might be the MVP. I don't know.
He's
Joel,
definitely up there, yeah.
yeah, he definitely up there. Joel Embiid is having a great season as well. But to me, I'm a student of the game. I love Chris Paul. I was watching. I hated. I hate that. Like, not. I wouldn't say hate, but it was so tough playing against him.
Yeah.
And he's such a competitor that sometimes you don't understand how prepared and how talented this guy is. To me, he's the best true point guard I play against my career, and I love watching him because everything he does is very methodical. He comprehend the game. He understand the game, and I love that. That's to me, what I love the game, because when I see guys that understand, you're trying to like copy and paste and then put your own flavor. But like I said, I love watching games. I can watch many games, even when I was an active player. I watched 4 games. I watched my games 2 times. I watched my reps, and I was always studying the game.
Right. So what? Speaking of KD, what do you think of like James Harden, and Kyrie so far? Still pretty early. They've had some, some highs, some lows, but what you think they'll be able to get it together?
Man, we live in a country that everyone has an opinion.
Mhm.
and everyone thinks that they have the knowledge or the know-how how things go because they cover NBA and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, there's something that reporters, opinions, they will never know. It's the locker room. I mean, when you're there, a lot of things happen that people don't really know,
Right.
that's why I respect the players because I was one of them. So you got to be able to understand that. And to me, I think those three, they make millions of dollars for a reason. They
Right.
are professionals, and yes, sometimes you can question some things that Kyrie might be doing that people don't like, but every story have three different sides.
Yep.
His like his side, her side, and the truth. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So like, so there's so many expectations and people talking about different things, and like there's a head coach that is he's getting paid to do a job,
Mhm.
and these players that are superstar, they gotta understand, and they do understand because I know all of them, all of those
Mhm.
three players, and I played for the Nets. Also, great franchise, great front office. I think they will have a chance to compete in the playoff and maybe come out from the East and see how they can do against any team that comes out from the West. But it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Winning basketball games in the NBA is one of the toughest things that any team can do. And to me, I think they will make it work. They will figure it out. And if probably might don't work. It's a good chance as well. Well, that's why there are trades
Mhm.
and different things in the game. So they're not doing anything illegal. They
Right.
are they are trying to figure it out and building the chemistry. So let's enjoy that. Why don't like I would love to watch these guys play every night.
Yeah.
'Cause that's beautiful basketball, man.
Yeah. You mentioned like the competitors and guys, taking the game seriously. I saw on your Instagram a couple of days ago. It was the 1 year anniversary of the death of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, seven others, and you had a couple pictures of yourself. Like one looked like you two off the court, a couple you two playing on the court. What do you remember about playing against Kobe?
Man, you know, um, and the emotions and what I feel is even now like I don't believe it, man.
Yeah.
And it's hard for not only Kobe and Gigi and the seven others that were there because we also got to pray for their families as well. But
Absolutely.
Kobe, man, Kobe, his legacy is still on. I mean, what Kobe did, I don't think any player. I think he's even bigger than Jordan. And I'll say
Mhm.
with base, I think I was in Italy. I was in Bologna when that happened, and I couldn't believe it.
Mm.
And he stopped the whole world, man. And then, what's sad that we had to lose him to. I mean, he was recognized, but we found out later how like great he was, and
Mm.
and 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 and, and great ones like him and being gone is so hard because he led by example. I mean, everything, even the adversity, the Mamba mentality is a style of living, and Kobe was a human, but the Mamba mentality is something else. Is and he did it perfectly. I think my favorite player, my hero, I grew up watching from my bomb bed in Venezuela. Kobe played, and I ended up playing against my hero.
Mm.
Spoke to him in Spanish, spoke to him in English, and unbelievable. Man, this guy knew what he was doing. Best competitor, his presence, his legacy, everything that he done, man, is missed, and his legacy will still on for the rest of for the rest of our life.
Definitely. Now there was a picture. It was you two. I think maybe after a game, before a game, you two are holding up a envelope.
Yes.
What was that? Yeah. What was that
Well,
envelope? What was that
it's a
about?
it's a letter. It's a letter that I wrote on behalf of my country. Because he was going to the farewell and playing against like his last season, and
Mhm.
I wasn't be able to play because I was hurt I was hurt that day, that week, and I was so sad that I couldn't play against
Mhm.
him that night. So I requested to see him and give him a letter and on behalf of my country and myself and just saying thank you and telling him how much impact he made on all the kids and the youth back home and we're gonna miss him, and we're gonna love him, and we're gonna support him, and that's what we're doing.
Mm.
And to man, to the whole world, that was the saddest day, and the saddest news that we ever heard, because he made a tremendous impact in the world.
Yeah, definitely. What you mentioned it earlier, and I saw an interview some of you with Karan Butler talking about going back, giving back to the community in Venezuela. What does that look like for you? What does like giving back to the
Man,
community and the young kids look like to you?
that's one of the most important things to me. I mean, for a guy like him from nothing and ended up making his dream come true, making an impact in my community is important. And I say
Mm.
my community because it's a lot of kids back home that they don't have the access.
Right.
Like I didn't, but I fought. But I don't want these kids to have it that hard. I want them to actually work with the right resources, and giving back, man, and helping others is what this is all about. And that's what I'm all about, helping
Mm.
and helping other kids making their dreams come true as well. But in order for me to do that, I got to do my part. I got to educate my community. I got to invest. I think a lot of people just
Mm.
throw money and think money
Right.
is going to solve everything. No, man, it's not the money. It's actually educating and using that money
Taking the
to get
time.
educated. You know what I mean? For them to understand what is going on, to have an opinion, to hold you ground, to just to be educated and do things with a purpose.
Mm.
And I always say this: do the right thing when nobody's watching. That's a major key with the youth, and that's what I do. So Greivis Vásquez Foundation,
Mm.
uh, just trying to make an impact in my community and help others. That will bring, I don't work with one community in particular. I just work with everyone, but especially my country, because I mean, they need tremendous help, and that's, I try to do the best and the most that I can do to help others.
Mm. Now, is that something you were always passionate about? Like you knew even, as a young kid, you knew that was something you wanted to do, or was it something like when you came over to the United States, you realized you wanted to give more back, or how did that? It's just kind of always been in you.
No, it's always been in me. I mean, imagine I wasn't be able to wear two pairs of shoes in Venezuela, and I was able to do so much with so little,
Right.
that when I came to the United States, and you watch different brands, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, which is my brand,
Mm.
you go like, wow, if I can take this to my country and help others, these kids that don't have access to it, to a pair of shoes, for example, then more Venezuela will have more NBA players, but
Right.
not having access is hard, man. Even though we're going through tough times here in the United States, we're blessed. We are
Mhm.
blessed. This is a beautiful country, and a lot of things have to get better, but and it will get better because we are smart, and we're gonna make things happen. But a lot of other countries, third world countries, they really struggling.
Yeah.
They really don't have any access, and energy, electricity, water, stuff like that. And imagine, how you have guys, athletes have to fight those factors in order for them to make it at the highest level. That's tough, man. So when I got here in the United States, I just wanted to help my people the right way and educate them, and that's why. And then I'm gonna continue to do that because that's what I've been doing.
Mm. Got to before we get to a couple questions from the viewers, I want to know what's one thing that Coach Greivis would tell 16, 17-year-old player Greivis. What's one a bit of advice that you would give to yourself if you were 16, 17?
Um, it's about it's to me, it's about doing the right thing when nobody's watching. So I'll tell young Graves, like, hey man, you know what? Continue to do the right thing when nobody's watching. Continue to believe in yourself. People's gonna doubt you.
Mm.
Not a lot of people's gonna believe in you. But if you have it in you and you're a fighter, you will figure out a way. So to me, you know, young Gravis or any young athlete, I will, that I'm trying to talk about my experience and tell them, you know what, it's not going to be easy. It's only 460 or 400 and some players in the NBA. How many countries are they in the world?
Right.
So it's not that many players that can make it. So what are you gonna do special that the scouts are gonna select you instead of any other talented player?
Hmm.
Doing the little things and doing the right thing when nobody's watching, it gives you a great opportunity to have a chance to make it. So to me, it's about that.
Definitely. Check in with Bridget and Julio backstage. I think we got a couple questions from our viewers. We'll see. First question we got from the real Matt Money. Matt says, "Do you think coaching makes you miss playing more than if you just stepped away completely?"
Uh, I'm gonna be completely honest. It does.
Hmm.
Coaching makes me miss it more because I kind of was forced to not play it anymore,
Right.
and that was hard. Like if you retire like D Way and even when Kobe retired, he said he didn't miss it. He played for 20 years. I only played for 8, seven
Yeah.
and a half, something like that. So it's hard because I know. So right now, if I'm healthy, I probably I was able to play or continue to play. So to me, yes, coaching when you don't retire properly because an injury or something extra happened in your career and you were forced to not to not to continue playing and you start coaching, then yes, it makes you miss it so much.
Definitely. Let's see. Next question from I got that Cliff. Cliff says, "How much fun was it beating Duke your senior year?"
It was a dream come true, man. It was one of the most unbelievable memories that I have because Coach K, the Duke basketball program was, they top. They one of the best, probably the best around the country. So beating the best is always the most important thing. That's when you know you can do something,
Right.
and that help you to believe in yourself. So that was a tremendous experience for me.
Let's see. Next question. Guy here from Broski Sauce. He said, "Who's your favorite Terp to watch since you graduated?"
Well, I will be honest as well. I watch some of my terrapins, but when you're in the league, it's just so hard to watch college games.
Yeah.
Like I was so disappointed of myself. Now I watch a little bit more, and I think my favorite is Coach Turgeon. I think
Hmm.
what he's done and the way he recruits. He put guys in the NBA. His program. I think we're close to do something big, but it's in basketball it takes time, and to win right away or win a championship is hard,
Yeah.
and to win a title in the NCAA tournament is not for the NCAA. It's not easy. So I mean, I don't really have any favors. I think I'm a tough coach. I think a lot of players are very very talented. Some of them made the NBA, but I'm more like Gary Williams.
Okay.
You're gonna have to earn it with me, and you have to go through the tough times with me. But I love Maryland. I think eventually I will go back and work with the school,
Mhm.
whether it's coaching or doing something. But I think Maryland changed my life forever, and I owe Maryland so much. Like I don't have enough to pay the school back and my coaches and my people and my teachers,
Mhm.
but I can always give them love and trying to do my best representing the school.
Definitely. Let's see if we got any other questions here. If not, we got one last one we like to ask all our legends before we let you go. We're getting together part 2 of our Legends playlist, getting a couple songs from everybody. So what's a song like what are you listening to when you're like you said, taking your kids to soccer practice or out and about? What's in your headphones? What are you listening to in the car?
Hey
Give me
man, I love Drake. Obviously,
okay.
Drake is trending and big time. But I like my reggaeton.
Okay.
I love Back Bunny, big
Okay.
time. I love my salsa as well. I love Oscar de Leon. So I'm pretty diverse. I like a little bit of everything. I like rap, obviously, and so sometimes people don't understand me because I'm been in this country 17 years. So they go like, "What? You like salsa, but you like rap?" Yes, and I like jazz as well. So my repertoire is pretty diverse.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Yes, sir.
Got you. All right, we won't keep you too long, Greivis. Know you got things to do. Thank you so much for taking this time and joining us, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, appreciate you, and it's fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. Thank you.
Of course, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
Right, that'll do it for this week's Legends Live. As you know, we got new episodes live every Thursday, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, here at the NBA Alumni's Twitter page, Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch. I'd like to remind viewers you can watch replays of any episode at legendsofbasketball.com/legendslive. You can catch the audio replay to our conversations by searching for Legends Studio, wherever you get your podcast. I'd like to thank you to Greivis for joining us. Big thank you to Bridget and Julio behind the scenes. And we'll see you next Thursday.